Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pragati Sureka Live. So, today a new year has begun. So, how is it that you are looking after your emotional well being? I would love to know. Firstly, what is really, really important is assessing where are you and where you want to be. Many a times we want people to be there for us, yet we don't know what exactly we mean when we want people to be there for us. Now, think of the last time you were in an argument or you felt people were not there for you. What was really happening? Was it that they were not there? Or could it be that perhaps you had not voiced your needs in a very comfortable manner? Many a times people forget that to get what you want, you need to elaborate and be absolutely clear about what is it that you want in life. So, today, when we talk about emotional well being, I'm going to talk about certain specific things that you need to do to take care of your emotional well being and mental health. The first thing that you need to do is jot down 5 simple goals for 2025. Yes, you heard me right. 5 simple goals. And I'm going to wait for a while and see what is it that you are writing. You're free to write in the chat box, and I will love to respond to you. Done? Yes. Yes, we have a lot of people joining in. So we are going to wait for another minute or two while you jot down your strategies. Now, thank you for writing that down. Now, once you've written things down, now, one of the queries that I often get from people is what is it that hinders my communication with people? Humiliation is one of the things that I often hear from people that they struggle with. Think of the time when you got humiliated by someone, or you felt that people were not understanding you or not being there for you the way you wanted them to be. Now, what is exactly is humiliation? Often when I go to the bottom of it, what I find is humiliation for people means very specific things. Maybe you've been yelled at in front of people and you didn't like that. Maybe people have just overlooked you, not invited you. Like, I remember I was speaking to somebody who actually told me that a very dear friend of hers forgot to invite her for her son's wedding. So I said, exactly what do you mean by forgot to invite? She said, no, she sent me a card on WhatsApp, but at least I expected that she will send me a personal card, on WhatsApp, or at least give me a phone call. Because 3, 4 people I spoke to, they actually wanted to, they told me that I have been called. Yes, thank you, Priyanka, for joining. Absolutely. I will be covering parenting next. Yes. So I was talking about humiliation. So if you feel that you have been humiliated at any time, there are certain things that you could do actually to feel better. One is acknowledge what's happening in your body. Try and connect deeper to your body. What is happening in your body? Hello, everyone new who has just joined it. We're talking about humiliation and how does that impact our emotional well-being. So think about the last time when you felt humiliated. Yeah. So as I was saying, now that the incident has come, now try and tune to where exactly in your body you feel it. You will see, like for me, when I feel humiliated or I think of a humiliating incident, I feel a slight tightness in my chest. I feel as though things are, not feeling very good. My head feels slightly heavy, and I feel my hearing goes down a little bit. It's like I feel something is going on. So, firstly, what you need to do is tune into your body. Think for a minute exactly where is it that your body is at that moment. Is it comfortable? Is your body sending you certain signals that it's uncomfortable in certain ways? So, connecting with your body is the first thing that you need to do. Because every emotion that we feel, whether it's humiliation, whether it's anything else, sends us some signals. The reason why we are comfortable with some emotions and uncomfortable with some is that with uncomfortable emotions like ridicule or humiliation, we get so overwhelmed that we just suppress it. We don't know what to do. And the body reacts very strongly to it. So, first, calm your body down. Once you know where it's happening, try some deep breathing. There is a technique called box breathing where you can breathe for. So, that will help you stay connected to your breath. And once you are anchored in something beyond the experience of humiliation, automatically your body calms down. And the mind and body have a very close relationship. These days, we have a very dual approach to things, like especially medicine. People are used to thinking that what happens in the mind stays in the mind, what happens in the body stays in the body. But our ancient tradition, and also now more and more medical science, is showing us that the mind and body are very deeply connected. There is Dr. Gabor Mate who talks about it. There's Peter Levine, there's Bizzle Van Gogh. All these people, they talk extensively on the mind body connection. So, for any uncomfortable emotion, usually there is a past experience that has got triggered. Triggered means something which takes us into exactly the same place. Now, think about it. When you are humiliated, how do you tend to react? Do you react angrily? Do you cry? Do you feel uncomfortable and avoid that person together? So, going into that problem solving mode with an emotion will help you get calmer, and it will help you become objective about the emotion rather than getting overwhelmed with it. Next, what you could try is some journaling. Journal about things. Exactly, how are you feeling? Did it happen to you before? So when you do that, bit by bit, you calm down in a difficult situation. Next thing that you need to do is set boundaries. Who are these people who humiliate you? Are they older than you? Are they younger than you? Are they people who work with? So, I'm happy to announce that there is a new book on boundaries which is coming out soon in the next couple of months. And you definitely will get strategies which are absolutely applicable to the Indian context. So, I hope that helps you out. In the meantime, you can learn to set healthy boundaries. First, with yourself by understanding what protects you. Once you know what protects you, that's a boundary. Now I'm going to start talking about parenting. Hi, Varsha. Yes, I will definitely take some tips to set your routine. I've been trying to do it, but not able to follow for a long time. So, Priyanka, first we will go to your question, which is on parenting. And I'm going to grab a copy of my book on parenting, which gives you very clear strategy on how to parent children. Firstly, to be a good parent, what needs to be done is you need to be available. A lot of times, parents feel that they don't need to be available, that children can automatically be raised. No. And when I say by being available, I urge you to ask yourself exactly what is availability. Does it mean physically being there and mentally on the phone? Or does it mean really, really being there for them all the time? Because while we may physically be there for children, sometimes we forget to be there for them mentally. We get distracted by other important things that we are doing. We are constantly worried about life in general, or we think that some chores need our attention. These days, everybody has a high pressure job, So before you know it, they are running from one thing to the other. So when you're not present with a child, what happens is children tend to act up. Now, any misbehavior that children do is essentially a cry for attention. Remember that. So, one, as a parent, you need to be objective about a child's misbehavior. You have to start looking at it as a strategy by the child to get your attention. And for deeper details, in this book, Hope, there are actually strategies with which you can actually raise self esteem of children. So, when you raise self esteem of children, what really happens is they are able to voice what's happening to them very comfortably. And self esteem is nothing but actually the value that we place on ourselves, however difficult things are. So, what are some key practices in parenting that can help you enhance self esteem in your children? Firstly, be a role model. If you want your children to behave properly, talk sweetly and nicely, ask yourself, how sweet and nice is your tone when you talk to them? How sweet and nice is your tone when you talk to your spouse, maybe other family members? How is it that you are with your team members, especially your juniors? Because that child is sitting and watching and listening. Yes. So you are your child's role model. So if you're expecting certain behaviors, take a minute to introspect. Which ones of those are you showing? Which ones are you there for them, available for them? That is what will actually help you in your parenting journey. Secondly, help them become independent. Now, children need to make age appropriate choices. Sometimes that choice may be simple things like a particular dress they want to wear to a birthday party, and you feel it's too simple. Often I hear mothers complain, that, oh, it's a party and I don't think what this child wanted to wear was nice. And at the same time, if the child wants to wear something fancy on a regular day, maybe, just to have dinner, parents often feel, ki, oh, this dress will get spoiled. So, what happens is children don't become good decision makers. Either they rebel, that no, I want to wear, they throw a tantrum and try to assert their natural independence, or they learn to be dependent people who can't decide anything in life. Do you ever feel as an adult, when I walk into a store, it's very difficult for me to decide what to buy? I don't know what looks good on me. So when we go to the depth of that, often what we find is such people have been raised by parents who never let them decide. So these simple things, if you're really looking at raising healthy children, what I urge you to do is give them autonomy, give them that space to be who they want to be without judgment. So when children are independent, they tend to act up a lot less, because we all like responsibility. Think of the last time someone gave you responsibility. Did you misuse it, or did you feel, wow, I now have arrived and I feel so happy about life in general? So it's the same thing with children. When they get responsibility, they feel happy. And there's a sense of purpose, there's a sense of meaning. Think about it. If you're at work and you're not given ample respect or responsibility, do you feel nice? You don't, right? So children also need that respect and autonomy to feel good about their lives. In fact, one of the reasons why we are seeing a rise in mental health issues is because a lot of children are getting micromanaged and monitored. And then they rebel, and parents often wonder ki why suddenly teenagers have become so badly behaved. According to me, we probably need to introspect deeper into ourselves. Are we letting children be, or are we making them robotic from a very early age? So, what happens? At some point, people snap. So, if we force them to grow up and behave like an adult when they are 3 or 4 years of age, at 14, well, they behave as though they are King Kong. Yes, King Kong. So, if you want happier children, if you want children who are there and who don't act up, I urge you to let them be independent from an early age, because then what they realize is their actions have consequences. If we stop them from having consequences, in time, what happens is they don't have an internal locus of control. Internal locus of control is nothing but actually when we inside feel if we've done something good or bad. And that is what saves all of us. So I hope, Priyanka, these tips were comfortable for you. And my third and last tip is laugh with them every day. Ensure that you share a joke with them, laugh at yourself with them, lighten up. So if they see you lightening up and laughing at yourself, they also get very comfortable laughing at their own selves. So let me now take up Varsha's question. Varsha, you need some tips to set your routine. One is start with when you sleep. Because, without minimum sleep, we don't function well. What research has shown is people who struggle with routine setting often have not slept well or are actually a little uncomfortable from the first thing in the morning. So start with your sleep schedule. Secondly, get a planner, and or maybe just take a sheet of paper like this and write about your routine. Writing really helps us solidify an intention. So if you're struggling with time, I urge you to make like a clock out here. Draw it, make different colors with it, and whatever you think is important, you color code it. If you feel meeting every day is important, write about that. Work, that is what is important. Chores to be set on the weekend. So if you actually organize yourself, one is a daily clock, and one make a simple timetable like you used to make for school, where every subject was written about. So when you write, what happens is these nerve ends get stimulated, and there is a direct link to your brain, and it gets encoded into your memory. So when you take these simple strategies to organize your mind and your routine, it's likely to give you good results. Okay, Yug, hi. Now I'll take on your question. How to quit smoking? I was trying to quit smoking, but it gets worse. Absolutely. Because if I tell you, don't think of a monkey for the next 1 minute. Yes. It's difficult, right? When you're told, don't do something, our mind gets fixated on just thinking about it. It's the same thing when it comes to smoking. Now, smoking actually, there are a lot of theories when it comes to smoking. Smoking is not just about a habit which is not going away, it's a craving. What is an addiction? Addiction shows that I need something outside of myself to feel good about the moment, right? So, addiction helps us negate reality. So, if you're looking to quit smoking, take a minute and first go to the bottom of exactly what is troubling you in reality. When did you first pick up that habit? What was going on at home? What was going on at school? Was it at work? Did you want to blend in with your peers? So, answering these questions gives us insight. A lot of times smoking starts as a result of low self esteem, or somewhere we felt we were not good enough. Some fear was there was some lack of confidence. So, you can get a copy of Emotional Ability Resources and do this work for 40 days and to identify exactly where it started. And if it still continues, I recommend you to seek help from a qualified mental health professional who actually can take you through the addiction protocol and help you kick the habit. I wish you all the very best because I think by addressing the question, you've actually taken the first step. Sagar, you need some career tips. I'm very confused and need guidance on how to be focused. And thank you so much for following me and admiring my content. So, one of the things that we can do to stay focused is firstly, we need to invest some time, maybe 10 minutes, to sit by ourselves very comfortably. It's very, very important that you have some me time to first focus. Take a pen and paper and just do some free writing. When you are right there, sit with a cup of tea, grab a glass of water, whatever works for you. In fact, that reminds me, I'm going to pick a glass of water. One of the reasons why our mind gets unfocused is we are not hydrated enough. So, firstly, take a minute and hydrate yourself. I just did. So, when you're hydrated, your brain is able to be in the moment. Because in our survival history, without water, we are not able to focus. The mind runs from one thing to the other. So, firstly, check your water content. Are you drinking enough water, or you are not drinking enough water. Once you know the water content, I again urge you to journal, to plan. You could make mind maps. That is very, very easy and in a comfortable way to get focused. There is lot of it available online, and maybe if interested, you can always put it. We can do a session on mind maps also if you all will want. That essentially means writing about a particular problem and drawing branches out of it. It can be as detailed as you want it. So focus normally does not happen because there are too many things cluttering our mind. So if we can draw out exactly what is happening, we are able to identify what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are the threats, what are the opportunities. So when we go about things in a very mindful manner, focus is quite easy to come in. Yes, Arvind, thank you for reading my books, and thank you for appreciating the session. Yes. So, are there any other questions specifically that anybody has that you want me to take on? If not, I'm going to talk about the various things that are there in the book. One of the things that I have spoken about here through the book is actually building up your skill of emotional intelligence. We think that emotional intelligence is something some people are born with, and others can't help it but live with their limited emotional intelligence. So if there's emotional atyachar happening, if there is some kind of lack happening, we feel, oh, it's okay, what can I do? One has to live with what is. But actually, research shows no. If you start building your emotional intelligence, then your strength and mental health both improve. Your health becomes better, because no talk of health is complete without mental health and our social interactions. I am not saying it. World Health Organization has said it in the definition of health. So if you feel that somewhere life is not as beautiful as you want it to be, start focusing on where exactly is your emotional well-being. Where is it that you feel that the positives in your life are not enough? There are more and more negatives. Because emotional well-being is when we feel that we have more positives in our lives than negative. And when we are actually comfortable with reality the way it is, we are able to digest a lot of difficult things in life. We don't have to worry about what's not going well. We understand that worry is just like a guest. It's come, it'll go. So thoughts start floating in our mind like clouds, instead of things which are etched in stone, about which we can't do anything. Because once we start working on our emotional intelligence, there are 5 things that we start doing. The first component of emotional intelligence is self awareness. We start becoming aware of what feels good, what does not feel good, what are the helpful thoughts that we think, what are the unhelpful thoughts we think. So when we go into that mode, over time, we are able to navigate our own mind. The traffic jam that we get stuck in, most people in metros and even smaller towns know that traffic jam is something that they have to factor in. Either they have to move at a time when there's lesser traffic, or leave some extra time in hand, or resign to their fate that they will get stuck. It's the same with our thoughts. If we don't know to manage our thoughts, or we can't help it, the brain gets cluttered with unhelpful thoughts. So firstly is to become self-aware. Ki, what role do I play in my own misery? How is it that I'm contributing to the problem at hand? So when I start thinking like that, I'm able to navigate life very, very comfortably. The next component of emotional intelligence is emotional regulation. When things don't go my way, do I erupt like a volcano, or do I actually manage to regulate myself? Am I able to talk about my displeasure or difficulty in a calm tone, exactly like I am talking right now? Or is it that my pitch rises and I'm dysregulated? The way we manage our emotions really is a mirror of how our life is, and how comfortable do we feel in life in spite of the daily challenges. The third component is self motivation. What are my motivations to work on myself? Am I living a purposeful life which gives me a sense of meaning? The job that I do, the parenting that I do, the other things that I invest time in. How is it that I'm feeling about each and every one of that thing? That's very crucial and very, very important if I am to be emotionally intelligent. The fourth component is empathy. Do I understand what is it like to walk in the other shoes? A lot of times we personalize people, especially when they are difficult or don't do things the way we want them to do. At that time, the best thing to do is to walk in their shoes. Take a minute and get objective. If I was in this person's shoes, would I be doing this? Chances are you would realize that you may, in all likelihood, behave in a worse manner. So, empathy gives us courage to be vulnerable and at the same time compassionate to our own self. It gives us the strength to let people be and to save ourselves from personalizing their behavior. Sometimes it also helps us give them the long rope so that we don't feel bad about what they are doing. The last component is social relationships. How are my social relationships? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they thriving or they are not thriving at all? Because human beings are social beings. We can't do anything by ourselves. We need others to thrive and to go ahead in life. So if you're really struggling, check your emotional intelligence. Where is it? How is it at how is it impacting your life? Where would you like it to be? So slowly taking control of your own life back in your own hands becomes very, very important. Any further questions right now? Okay. So now that I've spoken about emotional intelligence, I will urge you to do things on a daily basis. Many a times we expect our mental health to be optimal without doing any work, but that is not possible. Like we brush our teeth daily, we need to do things for our mental health care on a daily basis. Sometimes, even these so called kiddish books, of course, I often talk about emotional ability resources that I want you to work on, which is a very comfortable framework to work on. But you could even read this book, which will help you understand why is it that you feel bad. I recently used this book for a workshop with a finance company, and I had to talk to them about office politics, and it really worked. Especially this one image that I will show you of one person sniggering at the other one really resonated with people, you know. And yes, they were smiling, and I worked on it like an icebreaker. And what people realized is somewhere that thought of people whispering about us still rings in our head. We are so conscious of how other people are viewing us at home, at work, that we are often on tenterhooks. We are not able to engage properly because in our head that same visualization is there. So if you have 10 to 15 minutes, children tend to take a little longer. Pick up a book like this. Ask yourself, have I ever felt like this? Do I feel sad? What is it that I do when I felt sad or I looked low? Did people let me feel sadness, or did they say there's no need to feel sad, इतना दुखी मत हुआ करो, be positive, be happy? Or was I subjected to toxic positivity, or I learned not to express my feelings? So these are some of the things which bring down our emotional quotient, and we feel bad about things. Thank you, Varsha. Yes, absolutely, please pick it up. Now, hope, why I like, I've probably used hope for sessions with Scholastic in over 100 schools around the globe. And one of the things that they spoke about is, with children, I asked them, do you understand depression? Most of them say, whether it's 300 children, 400, and sometimes even 1,000 children, yes, ma'am, we understand. I ask them, what are the symptoms? They tell me symptoms, literally. Without studying P of psychology, they tell me symptoms. I ask them about anxiety. They tell me where is it that they feel. Now, children need information. Otherwise, they pick up things here and there. So, if there is someone in the family who's in medication, who has a condition, children need to be spoken to about it. Children need to understand that yes, sometimes some mood disorders that people struggle with, or when they see adults with yo-yo emotions, often children see, parents are very irritated with each other, or with them, or snappy. But if in public they are very sweet, they are very nice, so they wonder what is this two-faced drama that they are subjected to. While of course we need socially appropriate behavior, but at the same time, do we all not need a loving home? So if I know that certain behaviors that I do at home will not be acceptable publicly, is it or is it not my responsibility to do the same at home? So these books actually facilitate such conversations. They give tips on how to interact with each other so that children are likely to be happy and stable adults, not anxious. We blame the media, we blame the peers, we blame the distractions. But actually, we need to look inwards and look at our own role in what we are doing in the children that we are raising, or who we are as adults. Because at the end of the day, we need to feel happy about who we are and how we live our life. So if you see children struggling, or if you are struggling, ask yourself just this one thing. Maybe good things are happening to me, maybe not so good things are my reality. But as a human being, I have that one thing that even the gods don't have. And you know what that is? My capacity for joy, my capacity for resilience, and my capacity to let go of things that don't work my way. So, work on your mental health issues, the way you bathe, the way you brush your teeth. If in 2, 3 weeks the symptoms don't disappear, pick up the books that I have recommended. If that also doesn't work, then understand that perhaps, like, I can't do surgery on myself. If some organ is not working, I need to seek help and go to a specialist. Even for my emotions and my problems, I need help from a qualified mental health practitioner who can help me. Okay, so I hope this live was helpful. If there's anything specific that you want to see, please reach out to us, because I love interacting with you. And I will be in Delhi for a week at the World Book Fair with multiple sessions from the 2nd to the 8th. So I hope to see you there. You can just Google and you will find me. Most of the sessions typically are in the afternoon between 12 to 3. So I look forward to seeing you in Delhi soon. Have a good day. And good night to all of you who are winding up work and going back home. Bye bye. Thank you, Varsha, once again.